In the vibrant summer of 1997, in the quaint town of Willow Creek, a tale of young love began to unfold. Mark and Lisa, two teenagers from different walks of life, crossed paths at a neighborhood party, sparking a connection that would shape their futures. As they navigated the joys and trials of growing up together, their relationship faced a monumental test, one that would challenge their trust and commitment. Join us as we delve into A Second Chance, Rebuilding Love After the Heartbreak of a Cheating Wife, a heartfelt story of love, betrayal, and the journey to rebuild what was once thought lost. Through Mark and Lisa's journey, we'll explore the complexities of forgiveness and the strength required to mend a broken heart. The summer of 1997 was a season of vibrant colors and warm breezes in the small town of Willow Creek. It was a time when the days stretched long and the nights were filled with the soft hum of crickets and the occasional laughter from neighborhood gatherings. Among these gatherings was a party hosted by a mutual friend, where Mark and Lisa's paths first crossed. Mark, a confident and adventurous 18-year-old, had just graduated from high school. He was tall, with an athletic build and a contagious smile that made him popular among his peers. That evening, he wore a casual blue t-shirt and jeans, feeling relaxed and looking forward to enjoying the night with friends. Lisa, on the other hand, was 16 and just beginning to discover herself. She had a delicate beauty, with long, flowing auburn hair and expressive green eyes that seemed to sparkle with curiosity. She was wearing a simple sundress that accentuated her youthful grace. Lisa was shy but had an inner strength that drew people to her. As Mark entered the backyard where the party was in full swing, he noticed Lisa standing by the refreshments table, looking somewhat lost. Their eyes met, and Mark felt an instant connection. He walked over, his heart pounding with an unexplainable excitement. "Hi, I'm Mark. Do you know anyone here?" he asked, offering her a warm smile. Lisa looked up, slightly startled, but then returned his smile. "Hi, I'm Lisa. I know a few people, but I'm still trying to find my way around," she replied, her voice soft yet confident. They began talking, sharing stories about their lives, dreams, and aspirations. As the night progressed, they found themselves laughing and losing track of time. It was as if they had known each other for years. Mark was captivated by Lisa's genuine and kind nature, while Lisa was drawn to Mark's charisma and adventurous spirit. "I feel like I've known you forever," Mark said, looking into Lisa's eyes as the party started to wind down. "Me too," Lisa replied, her cheeks flushing slightly. "It's strange, but it feels right." From that night on, they were inseparable. They spent their days exploring the town, going on long walks, and talking about everything under the sun. Mark introduced Lisa to his favorite hobbies, like hiking and playing basketball, while Lisa shared her love for painting and reading. They were young, in love, and believed nothing could ever come between them. As the years passed, their bond only grew stronger. By the time Lisa turned 18, they decided to move in together. They rented a small apartment in town, a cozy place filled with memories of their time together. Mark was now working as an apprentice at a local mechanic shop, while Lisa pursued her passion for art by taking classes at a community college. Their life together was like a beautiful painting, filled with vibrant colors and strokes of happiness. They talked about getting married, having children, and building a future together. Mark often imagined a life where they would grow old together, watching their children and grandchildren play in the same backyard where they first met. However, as they prepared for their future, Mark couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. Lisa had become more secretive, often distracted and distant. She spent more time on her phone, smiling at messages she never shared with him. Mark's intuition told him that something was wrong, but he didn't want to believe it. One evening, in the fall of 2007, Mark's suspicions grew stronger. Lisa had gone out with friends, leaving her phone behind. Mark noticed another phone tucked away in her drawer, one he had never seen before. With trembling hands, he unlocked it and found a series of explicit messages from another man. Heartbroken and angry, Mark confronted Lisa when she returned home. "What is this, Lisa? Who is this guy?" he demanded, holding up the phone. Lisa's face turned pale as she realized what Mark had found. She hesitated for a moment before responding, "It's nothing, Mark. Just some stupid texts. I've never met him, I swear." Mark felt a wave of relief mixed with doubt. He wanted to believe her, but the seed of mistrust had already been planted. They decided to postpone their wedding, hoping to rebuild the trust that had been shattered. In the following months, they worked hard to mend their relationship. Mark tried to move past the betrayal, focusing on the love they had shared for so many years. Lisa, too, seemed committed to making things right, promising never to repeat her mistakes. They resumed their plans for the future, albeit with a lingering shadow of doubt. One quiet evening, as they sat on their couch, Mark turned to Lisa. "Do you think we'll ever be the same again?" he asked, his voice filled with a mix of hope and uncertainty. Lisa looked into his eyes, tears welling up. "I hope so, Mark. I love you more than anything. I made a mistake, and I'm so sorry. I want us to be happy again," she said, reaching out to hold his hand. Mark squeezed her hand gently. "I love you too, Lisa. I just need time to heal. Let's take it one day at a time," he replied, trying to reassure both her and himself. Despite their efforts, the shadow of Lisa's betrayal lingered. Mark often found himself lost in thought, questioning every moment they had shared. He wanted to believe in their future, but the pain of the past was hard to ignore. Lisa, too, struggled with guilt and regret. She loved Mark deeply and hated herself for the pain she had caused him. Every day was a battle to regain his trust and prove her love. The years rolled by, and despite the underlying tension, Mark and Lisa finally decided to tie the knot in 2022. The wedding was a small, intimate affair, attended by close friends and family. The couple seemed happy, but those who knew them well could sense the unresolved issues lurking beneath the surface. Mark was now a successful mechanic with his own shop, and Lisa had become an accomplished artist. They had built a comfortable life together, but the specter of Lisa's past indiscretions continued to haunt Mark. He often found himself wondering if he had made the right decision in marrying her. A few months into their marriage, Mark's suspicions resurfaced. One evening, while they were watching TV, Lisa received a message on her phone. She quickly glanced at it and put the phone away, but Mark noticed her uneasy expression. "Who was that?" Mark asked, trying to keep his tone casual. "Just a friend from my art class," Lisa replied, but her eyes betrayed a flicker of anxiety. Mark decided it was time to confront the past head-on. He reached out to the man from 2007, determined to uncover the truth. After a tense conversation, the man admitted that he and Lisa had indeed had an affair. Mark's heart pounded as he approached Lisa that evening. She was in her studio, working on a new painting. He stood in the doorway, watching her for a moment before speaking. "Lisa, we need to talk," he said, his voice steady but serious. Lisa turned around, her face paling as she saw the look in Mark's eyes. "What is it, Mark?" "I spoke to him. The guy from 2007. He told me everything," Mark said, his eyes never leaving hers. Lisa's brush fell from her hand, splattering paint on the floor. She took a deep breath, knowing there was no point in lying anymore. "I'm sorry, Mark. I did have an affair. But it's over. It was a mistake, and I regret it every day." Mark felt a mix of anger and relief. "Why didn't you tell me the truth back then? Why did you keep lying?" Lisa's eyes filled with tears. "I was scared, Mark. I didn't want to lose you. I thought if I could just move past it, we could be happy again." Mark knew he needed more than just her words to believe her. "If you're really sorry and want to make things right, you'll take a lie detector test." "I need to know the full truth, Lisa. No more lies." Lisa nodded, her face a mask of determination and fear. "I'll do it. I'll do anything to prove to you that I love you and that I'm not lying anymore." The day of the test arrived, and both Mark and Lisa were a bundle of nerves. The test was conducted by a professional, and as the questions began, Lisa's anxiety grew. She answered each question, hoping to convince Mark of her sincerity. "Have you had any other affairs besides the one in 2007? The examiner asked. Lisa hesitated, her heartbeat quickening. "No," she replied, but the machine indicated deception. Mark's heart sank as the examiner continued. "Have you ever lied to Mark about your relationships?" Lisa's voice trembled. "No," she said again, but the machine showed otherwise. When the test was over, Lisa broke down in tears. "I'm sorry, Mark. I'm so sorry. There were others. I didn't know how to tell you. I was ashamed." Mark felt a cold numbness wash over him. He had always feared this, but hearing it confirmed was devastating. "Why, Lisa? Why did you do this to us?" Lisa sobbed uncontrollably. "I don't know, Mark. I was young and stupid. I made so many mistakes, and I didn't know how to fix them. I love you, and I never wanted to hurt you. Mark walked out of the room, needing space to think. He wandered through their home, each room filled with memories of their life together. How could something so beautiful be built on such a foundation of lies? He felt lost, unsure of how to move forward. Lisa sat alone in the room, her heart breaking. She knew she had ruined the most important thing in her life, and there was nothing she could do to take it back. She wished she could turn back time, make different choices, but it was too late. Mark sat in their living room, staring at the wedding photo on the mantel. He remembered their vows, the promises they had made to each other. How could he trust her again? Could they ever rebuild what had been broken? Lisa, on the other hand, replayed every mistake in her mind, the guilt eating away at her. She wanted to make amends, but she didn't know if Mark would ever forgive her. She had to try, for the sake of their love and their daughter. The days following the lie detector test were filled with a heavy silence. Mark and Lisa barely spoke, each lost in their own thoughts. The atmosphere in their home was tense, like a tightly wound spring ready to snap at any moment. Mark spent his days at the mechanic shop, throwing himself into work to avoid thinking about the turmoil at home. His colleagues noticed the change in him, but no one dared to ask. They knew Mark as a strong, reliable man, but now he seemed distant, preoccupied with an invisible burden. In the evenings, Mark would return home to find Lisa in her studio, painting furiously. Art had always been her escape, and now more than ever, she needed it. But no matter how many strokes she made on the canvas, she couldn't paint away the guilt and regret that consumed her. One evening, their daughter, Emily, came home from school to find her parents in separate rooms, both looking lost. She was a bright and perceptive girl, and it didn't take long for her to sense that something was very wrong. "Mom, Dad, what's going on?" she asked, her voice filled with concern as she stood in the doorway of the living room where Mark sat, staring blankly at the TV. Mark looked up, his eyes tired. "Nothing you need to worry about, sweetheart," he replied, forcing a smile. But Emily wasn't convinced. She turned to Lisa, who had just walked into the room. "Mom?" Lisa sighed, sitting down next to Mark. "We're just having some grown-up problems, Emily. It's nothing for you to worry about." Emily frowned, crossing her arms. "I'm not a little kid anymore. I can tell something's wrong. Please, just tell me." Mark and Lisa exchanged glances, a silent conversation passing between them. They had always tried to shield Emily from their problems, but she was right. She deserved to know, at least in part. Mark took a deep breath. "Emily, your mom and I are having some difficulties right now. We've discovered some things from the past that are hard to deal with. But we're working on it." Emily looked from her father to her mother, sensing the pain in their eyes. "Are you guys going to be okay?" Lisa reached out and held Emily's hand. "We're trying, honey. We really are. But it's going to take some time." After Emily went to bed, Mark sat alone on the porch, the cool night air helping to clear his mind. He felt a whirlwind of emotions: anger, betrayal, sadness, and confusion. He loved Lisa, but the trust that had been the foundation of their relationship was shattered. "How can I ever trust her again?" Mark thought to himself, staring at the stars. "How can I believe anything she says after all the lies?" He knew he had to make a decision, not just for himself but for Emily. She deserved to grow up in a stable, loving environment. But how could he provide that if he was constantly haunted by doubts and suspicions? Inside, Lisa was sitting in her studio, a blank canvas in front of her. She had painted countless pictures in her life, but tonight, she couldn't find the inspiration. Her mind was filled with regret and self-loathing. "I've ruined everything," she thought, tears streaming down her face. "I've hurt the man I love more than anything. How can I ever make it right?" She picked up her phone and started to type a message to Mark, but then deleted it. She didn't know what to say. Words felt inadequate to express the depth of her remorse. She needed to show him that she was truly sorry, but she didn't know how. The next morning, as Mark was getting ready for work, Lisa approached him cautiously. "Mark, can we talk?" she asked softly. Mark looked at her, his eyes weary. "What is it, Lisa? I know I've hurt you deeply, and I don't expect you to forgive me easily. But I want to make things right. I'm willing to do whatever it takes," Lisa said, her voice trembling with sincerity. Mark sighed, running a hand through his hair. "I don't know, Lisa. I don't know if I can ever trust you again. This isn't just about forgiveness. It's about rebuilding something that's been completely destroyed." "I understand," Lisa replied, tears welling up. But please, give me a chance to try. For us, for Emily. I love you, Mark. I always have. Mark looked into her eyes, seeing the pain and regret that mirrored his own. He wanted to believe her, but the wounds were still fresh. I need time, Lisa. I need to think about everything. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's going to take a lot of work. Lisa nodded, wiping away her tears. Take all the time you need. I'll be here, waiting and hoping that we can find a way to move forward together. Over the next few weeks, Mark and Lisa tried to find a new normal. They went to couples counseling, hoping to mend the broken pieces of their relationship. The sessions were difficult, filled with raw emotions and painful admissions. In one session, the therapist asked, "Mark, what do you need from Lisa to start rebuilding the trust?" Mark thought for a moment before replying, "I need transparency. I need her to be open about everything, no more secrets. And I need to see that she's committed to changing, not just saying the words but showing it through her actions." The therapist turned to Lisa. "And Lisa, what are you willing to do to show your commitment to this process?" Lisa took a deep breath. "I'm willing to do whatever it takes. I'll share everything, be completely honest. I'll go to individual counseling to work on my own issues. I just want to prove to Mark that I'm serious about making this right." The journey to rebuild their relationship was long and arduous. There were days when Mark felt hopeful, seeing the effort Lisa was putting in. She had started attending therapy sessions on her own, working through her past mistakes and understanding why she had made them. But there were also days when the pain and mistrust felt overwhelming. Mark would catch himself questioning Lisa's every move, every interaction. He hated feeling this way, but he couldn't help it. One evening, as they sat together on the couch, Mark turned to Lisa. "Do you think we'll ever get back to what we had?" Lisa looked into his eyes, her heart aching for the man she loved. "I don't know, Mark. But I believe we can build something even stronger if we both commit to it." Mark nodded, squeezing her hand. "I want to believe that too. I really do." Throughout this difficult time, Emily proved to be a source of strength for both Mark and Lisa. She offered her support, trying to bring some light into their dark days. She understood more than they realized and was determined to help her parents find their way back to each other. One night, as Mark tucked Emily into bed, she looked up at him with wide, hopeful eyes. "Dad, I know things are tough right now, but I believe in you and Mom. You both love each other so much. Don't give up." Mark felt a lump in his throat as he kissed her forehead. "Thank you, sweetheart. Your mom and I are trying our best. We love you very much." Slowly but surely, the cracks in their relationship began to heal. Trust was not rebuilt overnight, but with each passing day, Mark and Lisa took small steps towards reconciliation. They learned to communicate better, to be more honest and open with each other. One evening, as they sat on the porch, watching the sunset, Mark turned to Lisa. "You know, despite everything, I still love you. I want us to work." Lisa's eyes filled with tears as she smiled. "I love you too, Mark. And I'm committed to making this work, no matter how long it takes." They held hands, a silent promise passing between them. It wouldn't be easy, but they were willing to fight for their love and their family. The counseling sessions, though helpful, couldn't erase the pain and mistrust that had become a constant presence in Mark's heart. The strain of trying to rebuild their relationship weighed heavily on him, and he often found himself questioning whether they could ever truly recover. One particularly difficult evening, after a long and emotional therapy session, Mark and Lisa sat in their living room, the silence between them thick with unspoken words. Mark stared at the floor, his mind a whirlwind of conflicting emotions. "How can I keep doing this?" Mark thought, his heart aching with the weight of his decision. "I love her, but the trust is gone. Every day feels like a battle, and I'm not sure I have the strength to keep fighting." He looked up at Lisa, who was sitting across from him, her eyes red from crying. She seemed so fragile, so lost. Mark's heart ached for her, but he knew he had to make a choice for his own sanity and for the sake of their daughter. "Lisa, we need to talk," Mark said, his voice heavy with sorrow. Lisa looked up, her heart pounding. She could sense the gravity of what was coming. "What is it, Mark?" Mark took a deep breath, trying to steady his trembling voice. "I don't think I can do this anymore. The trust is gone, and every day is a reminder of the pain and betrayal. I love you, but I don't think I can keep pretending that things will get better." Lisa's face crumpled as tears streamed down her cheeks. "Mark, please. We've come so far. Don't give up on us." I know I've hurt you, but I'm trying so hard to make things right. Mark's eyes filled with tears as well. I know you are, Lisa. And I appreciate it, but it's not enough. The damage is too deep. I can't keep living like this, and it's not fair to Emily either. Lisa reached out, grabbing Mark's hand. Please, Mark, give us more time. We can make this work. I know we can. I love you so much. Mark gently pulled his hand away, his heart breaking. I love you too, Lisa. But love isn't enough without trust. And right now, I don't trust you. I don't trust us. The weight of Mark's words hung in the air as Lisa sobbed uncontrollably. She knew deep down that he was right, but accepting it was unbearable. She had hoped that their love would be strong enough to overcome any obstacle, but the reality was much harsher. Mark stood up, his legs feeling like lead. I'm going to stay with a friend for a while. We need some space to figure things out. Maybe some time apart will help us see things more clearly. Lisa nodded through her tears, unable to speak. She watched as Mark packed a bag, her heart shattering with each passing moment. She felt like she was losing a part of herself, and there was nothing she could do to stop it. When Emily came home later that evening, she found her mother crying on the couch and her father's things missing. Her heart sank as she realized what had happened. Mom, where's Dad? Emily asked, her voice trembling. Lisa looked up, her eyes filled with sorrow. He's staying with a friend for a while, honey. We need some time apart to figure things out. Emily's eyes welled up with tears. Is this because of me? Did I do something wrong? Lisa quickly pulled her into a hug. No, sweetheart. This isn't your fault. Your dad and I are having some problems, but we both love you very much. We just need some time to work through things. Mark moved in with his friend, Greg, who welcomed him with open arms. Greg had known Mark for years and understood the pain he was going through. Take all the time you need, man, Greg said, patting Mark on the back. You're always welcome here. Mark nodded gratefully. Thanks, Greg. I just need to clear my head and figure out what to do next. Living away from home was a strange and painful adjustment for Mark. He missed Lisa and Emily terribly, but he knew he needed this time to think. He spent his days working and his nights reflecting on his marriage and what had gone wrong. Back at home, Lisa threw herself into therapy and self-reflection. She knew that if there was any chance of saving her marriage, she needed to confront her own issues and understand why she had made the choices she did. She attended individual counseling sessions where she delved into her past, her fears, and her insecurities. She realized that her actions were a result of unresolved emotional issues and a deep-seated fear of inadequacy. I've been running from my problems for so long, Lisa confessed to her therapist. I hurt the people I love because I didn't know how to face my own pain. The therapist nodded, offering a comforting smile. Acknowledging that is the first step toward healing, Lisa. Now, you need to work on forgiving yourself and finding healthier ways to cope. Emily, too, was struggling with the separation. She missed her father and hated seeing her mother so sad. But she tried to stay strong, knowing that her parents needed her support. One evening, as Lisa sat on the couch, lost in thought, Emily joined her. Mom, do you think Dad will come back? Lisa looked at her daughter, her eyes filled with tears. I don't know, Emily. I hope so. But we need to be strong, no matter what happens. Your dad and I both love you very much, and we're trying our best. Emily hugged her mother tightly. I love you, Mom. And I love Dad too. I just want us to be happy again. Weeks turned into months, and slowly, a sense of clarity began to emerge. Mark and Lisa continued to communicate, albeit cautiously. They both realized that the time apart had given them a new perspective on their relationship and what they needed to do to move forward. One evening, Mark called Lisa. Can we meet? There are some things I'd like to talk about. Lisa's heart raced with a mixture of hope and fear. Of course, Mark. I'd like that. They met at a quiet cafe, the air filled with the scent of freshly brewed coffee. As they sat down, both of them felt the weight of the past months bearing down on them. Lisa, I've had a lot of time to think, Mark began, his voice steady but serious. And I've realized that I still love you. But we can't go back to the way things were. We need to start fresh, with complete honesty and trust. Lisa nodded, tears welling up in her eyes. I feel the same way, Mark. I've been working on myself, trying to understand why I did what I did. I know I have a long way to go, but I'm committed to making things right. Mark reached across the table, taking her hand in his. I believe you, Lisa. And I want to try again. But this time, we do it right. No more secrets, no more lies. We rebuild from the ground up." Lisa squeezed his hand, her heart filled with a renewed sense of hope. "Thank you, Mark. I promise, I won't let you down." With a newfound commitment to honesty and transparency, Mark and Lisa began the arduous journey of rebuilding their relationship. They continued with counseling, both as a couple and individually, working through their issues and learning to trust each other again. Emily, seeing her parents' efforts, felt a sense of relief and happiness. She supported them every step of the way, knowing that their love for each other and for her was the foundation upon which they could rebuild their family. Slowly but surely, the shadows of the past began to lift, replaced by a brighter, more hopeful future. Mark and Lisa knew that their journey was far from over, but they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, together. As Mark and Lisa embarked on their journey to rebuild their relationship, they found that honesty and transparency were the cornerstones of their new beginning. They made a pact to share everything with each other, no matter how difficult or painful it might be. This newfound openness was challenging, but it was also liberating. Their counselor guided them through exercises that helped them communicate better and understand each other's perspectives. They learned to listen without judgment and to express their feelings without fear of recrimination. These sessions were not always easy, but they were crucial in helping them rebuild the trust that had been shattered. Mark and Lisa established new routines to support their healing process. They scheduled weekly date nights to reconnect and enjoy each other's company. They also set aside time each day to talk about their feelings and any concerns they had. This regular communication helped them stay connected and address issues before they could fester. They also involved Emily in their healing process. They made sure to spend quality time with her, ensuring she felt loved and secure despite the changes in their relationship. Emily appreciated their efforts and felt hopeful seeing her parents work so hard to mend their bond. There were still tough days when old wounds would reopen and doubts would resurface. During these times, Mark and Lisa leaned on each other and their counselor for support. They reminded themselves of their commitment to each other and the love that had brought them together in the first place. One evening, after a particularly difficult session, Mark and Lisa sat on their porch, holding hands and watching the sunset. "Do you think we'll ever completely heal from this?" Lisa asked, her voice tinged with uncertainty. Mark squeezed her hand gently. "I think healing is a journey, not a destination. We might always carry some scars, but those scars can remind us of how far we've come and how much stronger we've become." Lisa nodded, taking comfort in his words. "You're right, and as long as we're together, I believe we can face anything." Months turned into a year, and Mark and Lisa found themselves in a much better place. The trust between them was stronger, built on a foundation of honesty and mutual respect. They had learned to appreciate each other more deeply and to cherish the love they shared. On their wedding anniversary, Mark surprised Lisa with a small, intimate celebration. They renewed their vows, promising to continue building their life together with love, trust, and transparency. "I vow to always be honest with you, to support you, and to cherish our love," Mark said, looking into Lisa's eyes with heartfelt sincerity. "And I vow to do the same," Lisa replied, tears of joy streaming down her face. "Thank you for giving us a second chance." As they stood together, hand in hand, Mark and Lisa knew that their journey was far from over. There would be more challenges ahead, but they were ready to face them together, armed with the lessons they had learned and the strength of their renewed commitment. Their story was a testament to the power of love, forgiveness, and the importance of trust in any relationship. They had faced the shadows of their past and emerged stronger, ready to embrace a future filled with hope and possibility. Lessons learned. 1. Honesty is the foundation. Trust and honesty are the bedrocks of any relationship. Without them, love cannot thrive. Always strive to be truthful with your partner, even when it is difficult. 2. Communication is key. Open and honest communication helps to address issues before they become insurmountable. Make time to talk to your partner regularly and listen to their concerns with empathy and understanding. 3. Forgiveness is powerful. Forgiving someone who has hurt you is not easy, but it is essential for healing and moving forward. Holding on to anger and resentment only prolongs the pain. 4. Commitment to growth. Relationships require ongoing effort and commitment from both partners. Be willing to work on your issues and grow together, supporting each other through thick and thin. 5. Involving family. **** When rebuilding a relationship, involve your children and ensure they feel loved and secure. Their support can be a source of strength and motivation. Mark and Lisa's story is a reminder that even in the darkest times, there is hope for redemption and renewal. With love, honesty, and commitment, it is possible to overcome even the deepest wounds and build a brighter future together. As we close this chapter of Mark and Lisa's journey, we reflect on the profound lessons they've taught us about love, trust, and resilience. Despite the heartbreak and betrayal, their story is a testament to the power of forgiveness and the possibility of new beginnings. A second chance. Rebuilding love after the heartbreak of a cheating wife is more than just a tale of a relationship tested by infidelity. It's a narrative of growth, healing, and the enduring strength of the human spirit. Thank you for joining us on this emotional and inspiring journey. Stay tuned for more stories that touch the heart and explore the depths of what it means to truly love and forgive.